All right, Teddy. So at this point, I believe you're the one that's going to be coming in here. Let us know what
Oh,
is broken in the jungle. So similar that we started with Heartpulse, I would love you to give us some kind of details of what you're going to be using to define your reasons for placing champions where they go, so that we can follow that along. Let you take the floor with it, everything that comes to your mind at first, and then of course your brother and I will jump in with our ideas and suggestions as well.
sure, let me just set up the list real quick.
Of course, of course. We got that hidden OP and the regular OP. Yeah, I think this is pretty nice. I think these rankings are good to
Hidden OP. So
have.
I think I'm gonna base this off of like how easy it is to gank with the champion, um, how good the team fights are, and like what like how much pressure you could get early. Because a lot of this early pressure is huge. A lot of the snowballing stuff is huge. Like that kind of defines the game. You could kind of see a game in like 10 minutes and be like, okay, well we gotta either chill out for like 20 minutes or we kind of just lose here. Like it's about like how much pressure you could get off early.
hmm So early pressure and ganking potential from that.
And how easy it is to gank with the champion, how much early pressure you could get, um, and the team fights. Like what can you
Sure,
bring to the team fight?
sure. What about farming? Jungle clear.
Pretty much everybody's clearing really fast now.
Right,
You have
right.
like a few that stand out ridiculously, but
But
uh,
if you're in the jungle, it's because you can clear the jungle.
yeah, pretty much.
Got it. Got it. Heard. All right, so let's hear him.
Um, I think at the top of the list, OP stuff, we're gonna be putting Jarvan. I
Bet.
think Jarvan's just ridiculous. Yeah, I don't understand how big that shield upgrade was. And they try to quote unquote nerf it, but if you think about it, it went from 0% to 80%. So if they peel back 10%, it still went from 0% to 70%. Like that is an insane buff. You don't hear about that buff on any other champion, on any other skill. On, like it's unheard of. And we're talking about like the AD scaling. So now he's a champion that could sit there and build attack damage and still get that tankiness, that really like flexibleness. Um, and his early pressure is insane. He's a champion that could literally take the blue buff and walk down with you into bot lane and EQ somebody. I think they actually like nerfed did those jungle changes like specifically for Jarvans, and it still didn't like change anything.
Rough.
I also think Wukong is in that OP tier list. He is gonna be getting hit by some nerfs and stuff, so I don't think he'll be up there for too long. But there's a reason why he's getting hit with nerfs. Like his again, the clear is great. The misdirection with the W, you could bait people into like dumping cooldowns onto your clone, and then all of a sudden you could E back into them. The double knockup is insane with the ultimate, being able to jump in, ulti somebody, jump out, and then jump back in and ulti somebody again is insane. Again, a lot of clear, a lot of early gank pressure, a lot of team fight pressure.
Got it all. Got it all.
His armor shred is ridiculous on his Q with Black Cleaver. He's just shredding 60% armor for no reason.
It's insane.
That's wild.
No.
Um, I want to mention Fiddlesticks. I think this is a hidden OP here. Not a lot of people
Okay.
are playing this Fiddlesticks, but especially with like all of these armor stacking champions, like we mentioned the Malphite, how he's ridiculous. Malphite ain't doing anything if he's freaking feared and taking half his health or three quarters of his health off of this fear. And
Sure.
again, the team fight stuff, it changes the whole complexity of the game. Whereas
It
like
does.
now you can't step into this certain little choke point because Fiddlestick has ulti. You gotta wait for the Fiddlestick ult before we even decide to do anything. So it just changes the style of the game. So I think like that's a really hidden crazy
Right.
champion right there.
We're always talking about playing fights front to back or back to front, whatever. Fiddle's just like, you know what? Screw y'all. I'm just gonna hit everybody.
Yeah.
Good luck. Follow up. It doesn't matter on who. Yeah.
I think the probably the only other OP would be Vi.
Vi OP right now. See,
insane.
I feel like I am seeing a lot of eyes, but I'm not seeing a lot of eyes do super well, apart from you.
I think the problem with that is you can't do this radiant stuff. The radiant stuff looks good in pro play because it's a team oriented 5v5 game. If you're trying to do this in solo, it's too reliant on everybody else to do the damage.
Right.
I think snowballing with her is insane. If you could get a 3-4 kill lead with Vi, you could literally fight anybody in the game, and you just kind of control the pace of the game at that point.
Makes
But
sense.
again, her kit and her build paths is what I think puts her in the OP list. Like she has the built-in anti-health, so like if they're
Mhm.
stacking health, you could just max out your W. She has the ability to build MR, the ability to build armor. She could stack health if she needs to. She could stack just straight AD. Like the versatility in the build is what I think like stands her out a lot.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Mm.
I
Guess
think
we'll
Evelyn's another high tier pick.
yeah, Evelyn is
Evelyn,
insane.
yeah.
I just think people don't know how to play against her.
I never, yeah, she's always been on my rotating ban list just as a primarily a bot laner, but somebody who's been in too many games and in too many seasons where the fact of the matter is similar to what you're mentioning with Fiddle. She just changes the state of the game.
Yep.
She changes the state of the game. You have to play completely differently. You have to ward completely differently. You have to push completely differently versus an Evelyn than you do with others. And a lot of people don't understand how. So that makes sense.
You lose a lot of like your tempo and just like your
Yeah.
routine style of game because you have to change and ward for her or like just wait for her to pop out. And
By the way, anybody going against Evelyn's, ward her camps. She's
yeah,
visible when she's killing her camps. So if you see where she's actually going to be attacking her camps, there you go. You can track her that way.
it's another one. That's Skarner.
Elise.
Oh
Skarner's
yeah, those
not
Elise
OP.
changes. Yo, also Skarner's like about to get changed, so I would just argue don't play because he's about to be completely reworked anyway.
Skarner's a weird
Totally
one
different game.
because it's like he if I've seen Skarner's just become unkillable, and then you can't run away from him. You can't kill him. You can't duel with him.
Where
But
have you seen this?
it's very feast or famine. Whenever there's a Skarner, that's the thing though. It's like nobody's
And
picking him.
where? But like what elo?
Um, Probably like the plat diamond stuff.
That's hard to believe, but maybe people are just I don't know. I don't know in what world you're feeding a Skarner.
Mm.
I personally feel like this should be in C or don't play simply because they're already gonna rework him 100%. Like he's the next one on the chopping block. So
Now
that just in and of itself lets you know he's not good, right? I don't know.
the weird part is he's number 3 win rate right now. So it's
Okay.
like those who do play him and play him well, it's kind of like you can't do nothing against it. Once he gets that
Sure.
ball rolling, once he has like, vision in your jungle with his little passive and he's counter jungling and everything, like it could be a really
So what
oppressive
about
matchup.
not just playing Nocturne then? Because it sounds like that's what Nocturne does.
Oh, I
And
think
Nocturne's
Nocturne
also
is
not good.
another amazing. I think Nocturne is an
You
S
think he
tier.
is?
Heck
All
yeah.
right, bet.
Insane clear. Insane ganking potential. I could literally be on my red buff, see something go down, and then just press 2 buttons, and I'm in the lane with you.
Yeah, that's nice, right? That part of it is real nice.
Like that's insane. I do think he struggles against like very heavy armor matchups, so it's like a situational pick. But you're not
Sure.
really building too much armor pen with him.
So if it's a situational pick, then wouldn't that be closer to A?
Yeah, I
Or
think
no?
when
Do you
he is
think
picked though, it's kind of like,
it's S?
hmm especially like when I do try to pick him, it's usually like into a lot of CC heavy stuff. So he does have the spell shield, and then you could probably put like an edge knight on him and just block 2 spells.
Right. Makes sense.
Hmm
All right. Well, I know. Again, I'm gonna make mention. What about Gragas?
I
Where
think
is he in the
Kindred, Gragas, and Blue Cane are all in S tier.
Kindred, Gragas, and Blue Cane? Yeah,
Blue
I'm
Cane.
terrified of Cane right now. Cane is so scary.
It's
Oh my
insane.
gosh. Oh, I hate playing against this man.
Or even like the oppressive, like Red King could
No,
be wild.
nah, Redken is terrible.
I've seen like unkillable Red Kings.
That's fine. That's what he does always. But
Yeah, Red
it
Cane
doesn't
I think
change
is your
anything.
fallback. I think
Mm.
Blue Cane is what's busted, and Red Cane is if you have to play it.
Right, it's
I
not
see.
OP. Like it's just so like easily kiteable.
Yeah.
So like yeah, if you're gonna stand as five in a group and let him hit everybody, yeah, he's gonna be unkillable. But who's doing that?
It is true that all of the Cane one tricks I see are all playing Blue Cane.
I think Kendra's hitting OP, man.
I don't
Is
think
it
she's hitting
hidden?
OP. She's just OP.
Yeah, she's played
I
a lot. She's played a
mm,
lot.
but
You
it's
don't
very
see her because you
feast or
ban her.
famine. Oh yeah, that's I know that there's a reason why I ban her. But
Yeah,
it's very feast or famine, right? Because I've if it's a one trick fucking Kindred or somebody who like really knows how to counter jungle correctly and get those stacks with the Kindred, it's insane. You can't do nothing against it, and it also reshapes the style of the game because now you got to play around these stacks and stuff. So you might have to sit there and stop your freaking golems so go run all the way down in your gromp so that way she doesn't take it.
So that to me is you describing it as OP, not hidden OP.
yeah. Because it just means if you don't know how to play it, don't play it.
Yeah.
That's not really an issue with the champion, with the player.
I think people know that it's broken, and people who are good at it play it because they know it's broken.
What else do we have? Like a Rek'Sai? Rek'Sai might be in that hidden OP list because
I have no idea.
she's not played.
Yeah, it's super true. I don't know what I
But
saw
every
Rek'Sai.
Rek'Sai game I run into is not an easy game. I promise y'all.
Oh, it's A
For
tier,
sure.
no?
It
Like
had
a
to
A tier
be.
champion. Yeah, it's not like pick or ban, but it's strong when like you know how to play it.
Mm-hmm. That's sort of like a Lowy though. That's how I was looking at it because you're not gonna be banning a Lowy every game. But if you run into it, it could be like the worst time of your life.
Sure.
Yeah, but Malawi gets affected by matchups. Junglers don't,
Mhm.
so it's a bit different.
What about your boy Master Yi? Where is he sitting right now?
I think he's terrible, bro. I think he's great for solo queue, like or low elo and stuff like that. But I don't know.
Counterpick low elo type stuff.
Yeah, he probably like he has to go with these guys. They're all like do the same thing.
Sure. Sure. What about so the other person I get scared of more than almost any other jungler, not to say they're the best, is Bel'Veth. Where's Bel'Veth?
I think Belle might be like another
She
hidden
might be
OP.
S tier.
I think
She
she's
Uh,
terrifies me. She
she's
I
absolutely
don't.
crazy.
terrifies me.
Yeah, I think she's S tier. She has a decent pick rate. It's 4%. It's not unplayed, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's not as high as like Jarvan.
Anytime I see her, I'm like immediately she's the only person I'm concerned about in that game.
Hmm. I think she like wins those matchups too. All three of
Yeah.
those.
All right. How about Udyr? Udyr was played quite a bit earlier in the season. How's he doing right now?
He's still decent, like an A tier
Yeah,
pick.
I would say like an A. Probably put him
Cool.
there.
He's not as strong as he used to be when demonic embrace was the most broken item in the game, but
That's what made him OP. He was in OP
right.
tier with the demonic. I think the demonic was a
Right.
direct nerf to him.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Just doing, he was basically a better Victor, right?
Hmm.
It was wild.
I think Ramus is another
Ramus.
crazy one
Yeah.
too.
I've seen a lot of Ramus too, for sure. What about the cat? Rengar.
Ooh,
I think Rengar is S tier.
He's also scary to me.
I
But
feel
I'm
like
coming
he's
from bot lane.
doable. Like he could anybody in here could kind of duel with him.
Nah, he beats all those champions.
We put him on the top of A,
I think
low
he's
S.
S. I think he's S.
Hmm. Cool.
I think he's like he's the strongest AD assassin like in the
Hmm.
game right now.
What about Nunu?
I think he's OP for low elo. I've
Hit
always
an
Yeah,
said
OP
this. If y'all
or
like
just
still
young?
trying to climb bronze silver games and y'all trying to do it through the jungle, spam Master Yi and Nunu. That's it. If one is banned, pick the other.
So with Master Yi in A or in hidden OP? Master Yi in A. Bet. How about this popular pick that was so good in pro play, Xin Zhao?
I'm I'm so biased with this Zinzao. I feel like he's such a terrible pick, like especially in
Don't
the
pay,
pro
don't
play.
play. Is he C or don't play?
I would say don't play only because
Yeah.
like he's really good, but it's too reliant. Like I understand why they're playing him with in pro play because like it spreads out the team and all this. But like
Hmm.
if you're not trying to set all that up and you're just trying to play him, he doesn't really offer much. His clear isn't that fast. His dueling
Sure.
is great, but like if we're playing like flex or something, you could probably get a rotation. I don't see. I don't know.
So usually when you see Evelyn as a pretty decent champion, usually when you see Rengar as a pretty decent champion, Shaco is also a pretty decent champion. Is he there right now as
And we
well, or
just
is
hit an
he kind
OP
of
that.
going down?
I just think
Yeah.
people don't know how to play against it,
Sure. Sure.
and it's such a rough spot because he has a really high like pick rate, and like you gotta ignore the shackle. It's crazy. You literally gotta
Yeah.
like let
Changes the
him do
game.
whatever he wants to do.
You have to play different. A lot of these champions who are in the OP or the hidden OP are just they change the game or they're just stat broken,
Hmm.
right? Like Jarvan, Wukong, and Vi are just stat broken. The
Yep.
rest of these are like they change the game. Yeah.
The shit with Shackle too is that like he's a champion that has a flash on like a 5 second cooldown.
Rip.
So people don't realize that like when you're under tower and you see that he's standing there, he's getting ready to dive you, he could just walk up to you, auto you, ignite you, E, and then just Q away.
Right.
Like you literally gotta kind of just ignore and leave him alone.
Yeah.
But that's
In the
not a good
last
way to play.
not at all, not at all. In the last couple of tournaments and clash games we played, there were several actually. Trundle one trick ponies, Trundle jungle one trick ponies. I don't know if this was just a trend, but it definitely made me consider it, and it's coming to my mind now. Where's Trundle in the jungle?
Sorry, you said Trundle?
Yeah,
I haven't seen too much of him.
I haven't
Even
seen
like
a
in
lot
all of my
either.
games and all that, I think he's like
I
pretty
just
average.
remember
So
scouting a lot of him. That's all.
I probably like CT him or something.
Sure. Is Talia played in the jungle anymore?
I don't think so. I haven't seen that in a while.
Just don't play. They really hurt her real bad that wave clear twice in a row, basically. Where's Elise at? I know your brother mentioned that earlier, but we didn't place it down, I don't think.
I think it was more like S or high A.
She's definitely us tier.
Yeah.
This is insane.
Definitely.
Yeah, she seemed really, really strong from the last changes I saw for sure.
You just have to learn those combos.
Where would you say Khazix is gonna sit?
I gotta love hate with this guy, man, because
I
he's
know.
he's so good, but like he could be countered so hard. But if people don't want to like group up together, then he's just so good. He's another one that changes the shape of the game. Like you can't
Sure.
play it like a normal game. You can't go and like start farming your jungle late.
I feel like I agree with you, but he's so much more reliant than all of those other champions are.
You put him in like a low high B or something. I have a
Maybe.
love hate with him. I think he's really good when he has to be.
Sure. One tricks unite, but outside of that, oof. All right. I think now I'm gonna kind of well, no, one more. There's one more, and then outside of that, I think I'm gonna no. Okay, sorry. Two more champions. Then I'm gonna rapid fire. So the last two that I want to kind of sit on for a second. Lee Sin. Where's Lee Sin right now?
I think Lee has to be a S tier. He's really
He's
strong right
definitely
now.
us tier.
He probably
Facts.
lead off the S tier.
Heard that. Heard that. He's always kind of been one of the better champions in the game, and I feel like always will. He brings the same thing. He's one of the same sames, and the shit he brings is amazing. All right. So how about your girl, your poor, poor girl? Oh, little girl, Shyvana. Where's Shyvana
I think Shyvana is really bad right now, especially
at?
after like the dragon nerfs, because you want to prioritize these
Yeah.
dragons.
Yeah. Yeah, that feels pretty hard on her, huh? Okay, so yeah, now I'm just gonna kind of shoot through some final ones, and unless you really want to get into it,
Mhm.
then let's just kind of go past them quick. Where's Pantheon at in the jungle?
He's nice with those Q changes actually.
Yeah.
I don't know, he still lacks a lot though. I'll probably like lead
MD.
him off on the
Bet.
B.
I'm sad to hear the answer to this one, but where is the deer? Oh, Bambi herself, Lilia.
Ugh. Oh.
I tried her the other day. It felt horrible. Like it was
If
so
I
bad.
had to choose these, she's probably like the last one.
Yeah, I heard. All right, Warwick.
He's really easy, low elo, but it's it could be countered like in higher. I wouldn't take him
Yeah,
into no high games.
I had a horrible experience with him recently, multiple times. It was bad. They were all bad.
I probably C
Anybody
tier
could
him.
come and jungle me at any time. It was terrible.
Mm-hmm. Like trying to fight in the jungle is rough too.
Yeah. Sejuani. I know that she had or is having changes. Does that affect her?
I think she's actually really strong. Just like team
Okay.
fight wise. Again, like trying to get those crazy ults off. Her clear is actually
Sure.
really fast back, especially when you pick up that bomb sender.
Sure. Cool.
I'll probably somewhere in A tier with this.
Bet. Viego.
This one is hard to rank because you got to know your stuff with all these champions.
So hard to rank because you just shouldn't play him, or hard to rank because, uh,
It's like situational, right? Like I know
yeah,
if I see like a Master Yi or something, this was one of my most picked because I'm like if I kill the Master Yi, then I get to play as Master Yi and probably
right.
clean up the rest of the fight. So like if you see at least three champions on the other team that you know how to play efficiently, then yeah. But
That's
I think
rough.
he's
So
still A tier.
A
hmm
tier,
Yeah.
still
yeah,
somewhere
he
up
still
there,
has a
like
lot of
below
like
A.
mobility. He still has a nice
Yeah,
clear. Still has he could chunk down
right.
these tanks. My
Bet.
problem with him is that he's very squishy,
Heard.
and it's not like you could really build too much tank to fix that.
Amazing. All right. How about Amumu, or is he just a support now?
Um,
Like Moon was B tier, right? It's just like the same
uh,
thing he's always done.
Yeah. Yep. Cool. We've got Graves. I know he's been struggling. Where he's at.
this is weird. This is so weird because like he's so underrated, but like those one tricks are just insane.
Yeah.
It could be really oppressive if he has help from any of his solo laners. Then you don't have any farm ever.
Hit an OP.
It could be.
You have to know how to use it, and if you do, it's broken.
Yeah, pretty much. Cause like you could get
Cool.
really oppressive with it. If you go and you like gank mid lane and you get this prio and
Hmm.
your mid lane is snowballing, now y'all could just go and kill the jungler over and over.
Sure. Where's Hecarim right now?
Um,
I've definitely seen him more recently, but I don't know if that's because he's good or I don't know. Yumi's in the game again.
I think he's an A tier. He's an A tier champion. He's pretty good.
You think A tier? Or
he'll probably
Yeah.
be like somewhere in this little mix right here.
sure. And look, it's like him, Ramus, Nunu. They kind of all do the same shit. They're
They
just
just running it down on you.
yeah. All right, Zed. I heard he's really not doing great these
At a
days.
low win rate, but has the fastest clear in the game.
Right.
Like
What
I
does
don't
that mean?
between him and Karthus, we gotta rank Karthus too. So
Oh yeah,
it's
Karthus
rough.
is
It depends
everywhere.
on what you do with it. If you sit there and I think it's rough because he's a high skill camp champion, so you can't just like walk into lane and just
Right.
kill everybody. But if you're really good with Zed, you're gonna clear the fastest, and then you'll be able to gank as level 4 when people are level 3. Like
Sure.
it's insane. Um, I don't know. I'd probably just B tier him because you can't really do much unless you one trick in that or you're really good with the
Right.
champion himself, and his skill, his learning curve is insane.
All right, you mentioned Karthus. Karthus seems hit an OP to me. With all of the extra gold, with XP, all these things in the jungle, all he wants to do is farm anyway.
Mm.
And if you let
And
that
they're
just all
rewarding
helps him.
farmers now.
Right.
They nerfed the dragons. They nerfed the experience you get from ganking.
Hmm.
So those who just want to sit and farm, I think between him and Zed are the fastest two clears in the game.
Cool. Anyone else? Anyone missing here? Silas. What about Silas? I see him sometimes.
Oof. Probably like lead off the B tier. He's really good. He could be. I think again, just the lack of like MR champions.
Right.
I think he's bad into a lot of like MR abusers or something.
Diana.
I think she's terrible.
Don't play.
Yeah, I'll put in a dope playlist.
What about Volibear and don't play? Poor boy.
Yeah, probably.
Oh,
My boy is
so
struggling.
sad. They changed him so much, and they say he's just so
Yeah, I was Diana terrible.
bad.
I, I don't I don't see. We could chalk it up to like the whole Sunfire stuff. I think that's when she was busted, and they took those nerfs away.
Do you ever play her jungle versus mid? I think is like the question here, right?
I think she's more famous jungle actually.
You think
Yeah, I
so?
think she
All right.
is
Yeah.
more pick jungle,
So then, do play.
but she isn't performing
Fair.
well, and I think it's just mainly people just not building or optimizing her. You just get into a weird spot. If she ever gets behind, like all of these champions kill her. I don't think she could do any of them, especially the A
Sure.
tier, maybe B, C tier, but it's like, are you gonna be going up against those guys?
hmm that's all. That's all I can. Oh, Ivern. How about Ivern?
I think he's terrible too. I think especially like in
Or
solo queue. If this we're doing a solo queue list and all that, right? Like just don't play that
yeah,
guy.
just
He
don't
is too
play.
reliant on your teammates' hope.
Zach.
We didn't rank Zach. I think Zach
Nope.
is insane,
Still
especially
good.
with Radiant Virtue and all this stuff.
hmm
Probably just like an A tier, He's sort of like with these guys.
Echo.
I think Echo's busted too, especially with his Nasher. I think he's one of the champions that does benefit from it. Um, that again, it's based off of your knowledge because his ganks are very unique, where he could like W over the wall and then E into you or something.
hmm
It's like the whole like surprise element is what makes him busted. But as long as you know how to avoid that, you're pretty set. Like it's really hard for him to get in a gank.
Nidalee.
Put this guy somewhere. Probably BT him. Italy is insane, but it's very like one trick abuse stuff. So like if you start bot side, um yeah, so if you start blue side, bot side, and you take your red and literally jump over into the dragon pit and catch them while they're doing gromp, it's
hmm
like the most abusive thing in the world. Um But besides that, like she could really fall off. If your teammates can't sit there and dodge spears, then like that's what makes her busted. But um, I don't know. This would probably be like another B tier.
Talon, or is he only mid now? Really?
I don't got too much experience with the
Yeah.
Talon jungle. I haven't seen how he's been performing either. Doesn't seem like much win rate now. 48%. I wouldn't know where to rank this guy. Have you missed anybody?
Outside of really niche picks, I think that's about it. Yeah, Nautilus can't really jungle anymore.
Yeah, like the weird Darius stuff.
Yeah.
That was the thing. He went like Trinity Force. I remember that game. I think this ranks everybody.
Cool. Let's save it and move on. Next, I think we'll do
Oh, maybe
will be
Poppy.
80 carry. Okay, Poppy, huh? I don't see Poppy ever really being played except for as a counter pick.
Yeah, it could be abusive, especially with like, because with that Poppy jungle, you could go into the Dark Harvest and like Celerity and Water Walking and all these
Sure.
crazy runes that you can't get like playing her lane.
That makes sense.
That's pretty much about it, though. Oh,
Okay.
Mundo. Dr. Mundo, I think, might be
Oh
hitting
yeah,
OP.
the jungler
No, he's
doctor.
not.
We're going to talk about this. What do you
I don't
mean
care
he's
how
not?
fast you can clear.
He has one of the fastest clears now. He's up there
Oh,
with
now
the
what? You
Zed and the
cleared in 2
Karthus.
minutes, and then your Jarvan killed your bot lane. He took the dragon. He did this. He actually can contribute to a team fight. What are you
But
doing, Mundo?
you'll be level 5 and the Jarvan will be level 3. Because if he goes
Nice.
drag,
He'll
you
be
get them
level 3 with a
golems.
dragon and 3 kills, and his bot lane is fucking killing yours permanently while you're walking around with no mobility. You can't gank. You're just clearing all of my
You said
over on
Jarvan
Redken.
though, right? What does Jarvan have to kill the Mundo?
Ooh, he has a 10-0 vein now. That's what he has.
True, true.
Don't put Mundo on this list. He doesn't even have a play rate in the jungle.
Just don't play.
He does. I don't care how fast he can clear. There's probably
Oh
random champions
man,
that can clear faster.
this guy, this
We're not
Mundo,
playing World of Warcraft. We're not playing a PvE game. We're playing a
this
PvP.
Mundo
I don't care how
is
fast you can kill these monsters.
this Mundo's insane, bro. They double the damage on his E. That's what we're arguing right now.
Okay,
Yes.
but who does he beat?
Double.
He does not beat Trundle. Trundle beats him. He does not beat Skarner, right? He doesn't beat Warwick, and he doesn't beat Lilia.
I don't
So
think
I
none of them
feel,
kill him.
Who
but
cares about killing?
he doesn't beat any of them either. He has to run away. Like he has to use his ult to run the fuck
We're not
away from
playing
those.
1v1 and we're not playing PvE.
Hmm. He also has like one of the strongest slows in the game. He just smack. He
Awesome.
Well,
just-
yeah, I agree with that.
Awesome, actually. Awesome slow. Too bad Lee Sin is like fucking one-shotting your support. Elise is diving you. Mac is ganking. Diego's 1v5ing. It doesn't matter what Mundo can do. It doesn't matter how fast he can clear. These are all irrelevant.
I've seen some impressive Mundo games, man.
Or in your
I got
fucking Smurf account
PTSD.
at 3 a.m. On your silver Smurf account at 3 a.m. That matters.
Yeah, so I feel like Teddy at least put him at the bottom of C, because like there you go.
Nah, the deer gotta go there, bro. Yeah,
Yeah, dear struggle. Dear should struggle.
she's borderline. Don't play.
She is. She's got like 2 strikes. Before she's got 1 more to go before she hits don't play. Oh gosh. Okay, cool. I think this is pretty comprehensive.
Mhm.